It starts with a screen lighting up the quiet of night, a familiar melody in the background, and a sudden rush of comments flooding across a Twitch stream chat. Because somewhere between music and gaming, between nostalgia and evolution, Justin Bieber appears live with Kyle Massey, and for a moment the internet pauses, drawn not by controversy but curiosity, because the sight of two familiar faces from two different eras of entertainment meeting in real time feels like a symbol of how celebrity itself has changed in this age of digital intimacy. Justin smiles that calm, warm expression that carries both wisdom and weariness, and Kyle laughs with that easy energy fans remember from years past, and there's something refreshingly human about it all, because for once, it's not about polished interviews or glossy headlines. It's about people sharing space, about art, meeting friendship, about the way fame bends but never fully breaks when grounded in connection. And as the comments fly by faster than any melody could keep up with, we start to see a deeper story unfolding. Not one about rumors or noise, but about growth. About artists learning to breathe in a world that never stops watching. Because Justin Bieber's story has never just been about music. It's been about metamorphosis, from the boy with a guitar singing on the steps of Stratford, Ontario, to a man who has lived more lives than most before 30. His journey has been painted with the highs of global stardom and the lows of being misunderstood. Yet what remains constant is his faith, his art, and his unwavering connection to fans who grew up right alongside him. And in Kyle Massey's laughter, you can feel the echoes of Disney Channel afternoons of a generation raised on joy, simplicity, and the endless belief that anything was possible. And that's what makes this Twitch stream so fascinating, because it feels like a reunion between two corners of the same dream. The child star world that shaped the early 2000s and the music that defined a decade colliding into one digital moment. And beyond the screens and comment sections, there's a universal truth being told here, that fame is evolving, that artists today are no longer figures locked behind velvet ropes, but real people navigating a transparent universe where vulnerability is celebrated and connection is currency. Justin has spoken before about his journey to peace, about how music saved him and faith grounded him, and how love taught him that true loyalty begins in the heart. And you can see that same energy in how he carries himself, humble, soft-spoken, grateful, a far cry from the chaos of flashbulbs that once followed him through airports and arenas. Now his focus is on intention, on art that uplifts and lyrics that heal. And that is the magic of this new chapter. The way he turns the noise of fame into harmony. And even in this seemingly casual stream, the message shines through. That being present, being real, and being kind are the new definitions of cool. And it's not just Justin who's proving that point across the entertainment world. The biggest stars are rewriting the meaning of celebrity. Taylor Swift turning her personal experiences into poetic universes that empower fans to find their own voice. Selena Gomez transforming pain into advocacy for mental health and self-acceptance. Beyoncé showing that excellence and humility can coexist. Billie Eilish reminding young audiences that authenticity is more powerful than perfection. BTS proving that language is no barrier to love, connection, and art, each of them carving out a legacy, not through scandal or spectacle, but through purpose and passion, and fans around the globe respond, because they don't want idols, they want mirrors. People who reflect pieces of themselves, who remind them that growth is messy but worth it, and that fame is not a fortress, but a journey. Justin embodies that better than ever. His music has matured, his message evolved from baby to ghost, from heartbreak to healing, from spotlight to surrender. He's turned his platform into a space for love and positivity, and that's what makes even the smallest appearances like this Twitch moment feel special, because it's more than entertainment. It's communion between artist and audience, between nostalgia and now between memory and meaning. And if you listen closely beneath the laughter and digital chatter, you can almost hear the heartbeat of a generation, finding balance between creation and chaos, between fame and freedom, because this is the new golden age of connection, and every artist who dares to show their true self contributes to it. The world no longer wants flawless. They want real, and in that reality, there is beauty, there is hope. There is the reminder that everyone, whether on stage or screen or behind a keyboard, is navigating the same search for purpose and peace. Justin Bieber, Kyle Massey, Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, all of them, walking different paths but telling the same story in their own ways, that being human is the greatest performance of all. And as the digital stream fades into the quiet hum of midnight playlists, the glow of the screen lingers like a heartbeat pulsing through millions of homes across the world. People from every corner of the globe still talking about that spontaneous moment of connection, that simple, unfiltered glimpse of celebrities being human. And that is what makes this era of entertainment so captivating, because it reminds us that fame is no longer confined to red carpets and arenas. It now breathes through live streams and social platforms where fans and artists meet halfway in real time without scripts, without handlers, without the invisible wall that used to separate the audience from the icon. And that change has redefined what it means to be a celebrity. Justin Bieber has grown up in that shift, learning to embrace transparency instead of perfection, humility instead of distance, and his evolution mirrors the wider transformation of modern stardom, where being relatable has become more powerful than being unreachable. We see it everywhere in the way Taylor Swift hides Easter eggs for her fans in her lyrics, turning music into mystery and play, in the way Billie Eilish shares her creative process in studios lit with soft light, inviting fans into the intimate world of making art in the way Selena Gomez opens up about mental health, reminding millions that strength and vulnerability can coexist beautifully. This interconnectedness is what makes fame feel alive again, not as an illusion, but as a shared experience, and Justin's story fits perfectly within that mosaic. His early years were a masterclass in sudden success, the kind of meteoric rise that happens once in a generation, discovered online, elevated to superstardom, overnight, and then thrust into the whirlwind of expectations. But over time, he found his way back to peace. Through love, through faith, through music, through self-reflection. And that is what fans respond to, because they too are trying to find meaning. In a fast-changing world, he often talks about grace, about how no one is perfect, about how learning never ends. And it's in those moments of honesty that people see themselves reflected, because when celebrities share truth, they remind the world that even those living the biggest dreams still battle the same doubts, the same hopes, the same fears. And as Justin and Kyle chat on Twitch, laughing about music, games, and memories, it's not about image or marketing. It's about the magic of friendship and how collaboration keeps creativity alive across generations. It's similar to the way artists like Ed Sheeran and Elton John share songs across eras, or how Beyoncé mentors rising stars, encouraging them to own their power, or how artists like Drake collaborate with new talents to keep music evolving. This creative bridge building is what keeps culture fresh. It's the passing of torches, the blending of old and new, of legacy and innovation, and fans notice because these collaborations feel like time capsules connecting childhood joy to present-day inspiration, and in that connection there is healing because nostalgia becomes motivation, reminding us that growth does not erase our past, it expands it. And as the world scrolls endlessly, through clips and reactions, the focus slowly shifts from the surface of celebrity to its deeper message, that fame is simply another stage for storytelling, and storytelling is what makes us human. The way Justin uses his voice to talk about love, or redemption, or gratitude is no different from the way Zendaya chooses roles that challenge perception, or how BTS writes about self-love and identity, or how Rihanna uses fashion to celebrate inclusivity. Every creative choice becomes a conversation, a ripple in the cultural ocean, and these ripples reach further than charts or headlines. They shape the way people see themselves. They spark courage in quiet hearts. And that is the unseen gift of fame when used with intention. It becomes a vessel for empathy, and that empathy is visible everywhere, from Lady Gaga speaking about kindness to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson motivating millions with his work ethic to Oprah Winfrey, teaching generations about faith, resilience, and purpose, all of them weaving the same lesson into different melodies, that true success lies not in applause but in authenticity. And so when Justin appears online smiling content, grounded in his truth, it feels like a reflection of this new paradigm of fame, a softer, more honest kind that reminds us that real strength is gentle and that vulnerability can move mountains. And beyond him, the larger world of celebrities continues to evolve, interconnected and inspired, from the vibrant film sets of Bollywood, where artists like Priyanka Chopra blend global storytelling, to the runways of Paris, where Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet redefine red carpet style, to the arenas of Seoul, where Blackpink turns confidence into anthems. Every star adds a piece to the tapestry of modern culture. And through their collective journeys, we learn that fame, when paired with purpose, can be a light that guides, not blinds, It can bring people together across languages and borders through shared emotions that need no translation, and as the Twitch chat quiets and fans begin logging off one by one, what remains is not noise but warmth. The feeling of having witnessed something rare, genuine connection in a world built on illusion. And that's what keeps people returning to stories like Justin's, because in the end, it's not about fame at all. It's about the timeless search for meaning through art, through friendship, through love. And as morning comes and the buzz of the internet softens into memory, the image of Justin Bieber and Kyle Massey sharing that moment still lingers in the corners of social media screens, captured in screenshots and hearts and retweets, not as gossip, but as a glimpse of how art and humanity intertwine. And that idea stretches far beyond them into the wider constellation of stars that define this era of fame, where vulnerability is the new power and truth is the new trend. Because every artist now lives in a world where fans don't just want to be entertained, they want to connect. They want to feel seen and understood. And that shift has transformed the celebrity landscape from Hollywood to Seoul, from Lagos to London and everywhere. In between, we see people using their platforms not just to promote, but to inspire. And Justin has always understood that the boy who once sang Baby in front of flashing lights now sings about faith, redemption, and grace, his voice carrying the weight of experience and the softness of forgiveness. His journey mirrors the story of so many who grew up in the spotlight, from Miley Cyrus, embracing her full identity after years of reinvention, to Demi Lovato, using music as a tool for recovery, to Selena Gomez, creating safe spaces for mental health conversations. Every one of them teaching their fans that healing is not linear, that progress is personal, and that art can be therapy for both the creator and the listener. And in that truth, there's something deeply universal. Because whether you're standing on a stage or watching from your phone, we all crave the same things: to be understood, to belong, to make meaning out of the chaos. And celebrities in this digital generation have become mirrors reflecting those same desires in ways that feel intimate and real. Taylor Swift writes letters to her younger self in the form of songs. Billie Eilish turns whispers into anthems that comfort those who feel unseen. BTS tells their fans that self-love is the first step to world peace, and Beyoncé, through her precision and perfection, shows that excellence can be an act of gratitude. Every performance, every lyric, every post becomes part of this great mosaic of connection. And when we look back, we realize how far the culture has come from an age of mystery to one of transparency, from celebrity as idol to celebrity as storyteller. And that is why moments like the Twitch appearance matter, because they symbolize the merging of entertainment and authenticity. The realization that fame is not armor, but a window into the shared experience of being alive. Justin's calm energy during the stream feels like the echo of a man who has made peace with his past and learned how to carry it with grace. He talks about gratitude and laughter and the joy of creating without pressure. And his words resonate because they come from a place of wisdom, earned through storms and sunlight alike. His faith, his marriage, his music, his friendship's all part of a tapestry that tells the story of transformation. And Kyle, too, brings his own kind of light humor, creativity, and the nostalgia of a simpler time, reminding audiences that joy is timeless and that laughter can heal as much as art. And together, their presence online becomes a soft reminder that the internet, while often loud and critical, can also be a place of warmth, of reconnection, of shared nostalgia and new beginnings. And that feeling ripples outward as we see other stars doing the same, connecting more deeply with fans. Zendaya opening up about boundaries and balance. Rihanna discussing motherhood and business with honesty and poise. Harry Styles spreading calm through his music and his message of treating people with kindness. These are not just celebrities. They are cultural architects shaping what modern influence means. And in their stories, we find lessons about resilience and reinvention, lessons that extend far beyond the screens they live on. Because fame is fragile, but legacy is built on purpose. And the ones who understand that turn their platforms into sanctuaries. Justin often talks about purpose, not as perfection, but as presence, being where your feet are, being grateful for today. And that message resonates in an age where everyone feels pressured to prove themselves, where social media blurs the line between validation and value. His quiet example reminds us that peace is possible, that balance is achievable, and that even in the chaos of global fame, one can find stillness by focusing on what truly matters: love, family, art, and faith. And this understanding has made him one of the most relatable global icons, not because of his perfection, but because of his openness. And fans all over the world recognize themselves in that transparency, because whether you are a musician, a student, or someone just trying to navigate life, you can look at stories like his and see that transformation is always within reach. And the more we watch these artists evolve, the more we learn about ourselves, about our capacity to forgive, to grow, to start over. And maybe that's the secret behind why the world can't stop watching, because beyond the lights and music, fame has become a collective mirror showing us that hope still sells, that kindness still matters, and that authenticity will always outshine illusion. And as the world keeps spinning beneath a sky filled with dreams, the story continues to flow like a river through time, carrying with it every note, every memory, every heartbeat that fame has ever inspired, because what began as a simple stream between Justin Bieber and Kyle Massey has turned into a reflection of everything the modern celebrity world stands for: connection, redemption, creativity, and courage. The kind of courage it takes to grow up in public, to make mistakes, learn from them, and still stand tall with a smile that tells the world, I'm still here. I'm still trying. And that's something so many stars have in common, because behind the glamour and the flash, there are human beings who wake up every day fighting battles no camera can capture. Taylor Swift rewriting her narrative with every era, turning heartbreak into poetry and empowerment. Lady Gaga transforming pain into art that saves lives. Selena Gomez building empires that focus on mental health and compassion, all of them using their stories as bridges between fame and humanity. And Justin's journey sits right alongside theirs. He's become a symbol of what it means to rise after falling, to keep faith when the noise gets loud, and to let love guide the way. He often says that peace isn't found in perfection, but in surrender. And that idea runs deep through the veins of today's celebrity culture, because surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the illusion that you have to be flawless and instead embracing the truth of who you are. It's the same truth that Beyoncé radiates every time she steps on stage, the same truth that BTS carries to millions through lyrics about identity and self-love, the same truth that Zendaya embodies with quiet confidence as she balances acting, music, and fashion. And in all of these stories, we find echoes of our own. We see how art imitates life and how life shapes art. Fame has always been a mirror of the times, and right now that mirror reflects authenticity over perfection, heart over hype, intention over influence. And it's beautiful to watch, because it means the culture is healing, moving from criticism to compassion, from spectacle to sincerity. And as that shift continues, it becomes clear that the next generation of artists isn't chasing celebrity, they're chasing purpose. We see it in people like Billie Eilish, who stays true to her vision even when the world tries to define her, and Emma Watson, who uses her platform for education and equality, and Harry Styles, who turns every performance into a celebration of individuality, in Dwayne Johnson, who shares his family moments to remind millions that strength is rooted in love. And the list goes on, because this movement isn't limited to one country, one culture, or one medium. It's global, from the colorful streets of Mumbai, where actors blend tradition and modernity, to the studios of Seoul, where musicians break language barriers, to tell stories of unity and hope, to the fashion houses of Paris, where creativity becomes courage. Every corner of the world contributes to this new symphony of fame, built not on scandal, but on substance, not on distance, but on depth. And through it all, fans stand at the center, cheering, supporting, learning, because fandom today isn't about worship, it's about community. It's about finding pieces of yourself in the songs, the films, the moments that move you, and that is what keeps the heartbeat of celebrity culture alive, because when fans connect with truth, they stay not for gossip, but for growth. And Justin understands that better than anyone. His concerts now feel like celebrations of gratitude, his songs filled with words that lift rather than divide, his interviews radiating peace and reflection. It's as if he's saying to the world that joy is the real rebellion, that kindness is the ultimate form of strength, and that no matter how chaotic life becomes, you can always choose to love again. And that message ripples outward, touching artists like Rihanna, who uses fashion to make everyone feel seen and valued, touching figures like Oprah, who continues to teach that empathy changes everything, touching even the youngest influencers who are learning that being famous online means being responsible offline. This chain of influence builds a brighter legacy than any award could ever capture, because it's built on humanity. And that humanity is what ties all of these stories together. The glitz and the grit, the applause and the silence, the victories and the lessons, all woven into one continuous thread, that reminds us we are all more alike than we think. Fame just magnifies what already lives within us, and when used for good, it becomes a beacon, a light that guides others toward their own greatness. And as this narrative moves through screens and hearts across continents, it leaves behind an echo, a soft voice whispering that the world still believes in goodness, still believes in love, still believes that art can save lives. And when you see Justin smiling on that Twitch screen at peace with where he's been and hopeful for what's ahead, it's hard not to believe it too. And as the final notes of this long, beautiful journey echo into the horizon, we find ourselves back in the same place where it began, in front of a glowing screen, watching two artists simply sharing space, Justin Bieber and Kyle Massey sitting together, laughing, talking, being human. And through that simplicity, something profound is revealed, the realization that fame, no matter how dazzling or daunting, is just another reflection of life, with all its joy, its lessons, and its light. Because every star we have met on this journey, from Justin to Taylor, from Beyoncé to BTS, from Selena Gomez to Harry Styles, from Lady Gaga to Dwayne Johnson, carries within them a story of resilience, a spark of hope, and a testament to the power of growth. They remind us that fame is not perfection, it is perseverance, not entitlement but empathy, not escape but expression. Each of them using their platforms to turn pain into poetry and dreams into dialogue. And through their work, they help us see the beauty of our own unfinished stories, when Justin sings about faith and forgiveness, or when Taylor turns her heartbreaks into hymns of empowerment, or when Rihanna transforms creativity into confidence. We feel something awaken in ourselves, because art is a mirror. And in that reflection, we find healing. And that is what keeps people listening, watching, scrolling through countless videos, clips, and documentaries, not out of obsession, but out of connection, out of the desire to understand how these bright souls navigate the same storms we face, but under brighter lights. And as the stream fades to black, we realize that what made it special was not the fame, but the familiarity. Two artists who grew up in front of the world, now finding peace in a simple conversation, bridging generations of entertainment, from the days of television and radio to the endless reach of social media and streaming. It shows how far the world has come, and how close we all remain connected by pixels, sound, and heartbeats. Fame has evolved into something more human, more transparent, more alive. It has become a stage for empathy, a language of unity, and when used with love, it becomes one of the most powerful forces for good in the world. Because celebrities are no longer distant dreams, they are living reminders that courage can coexist with kindness, and that grace can grow from failure. And as we step further into the future, this movement only expands through global art and collaboration, through cultural fusion and compassion, from Bollywood to Hollywood, from Seoul to Lagos, from Paris to São Paulo. Every voice adds a new color to the canvas of fame, a canvas that keeps expanding with every generation of creators, dreamers, and believers. Justin's story becomes one chapter in that endless book, the story of how a boy from a small town turned the noise of the world into music that heals, and how along the way he learned that the truest success is not in applause, but in peace. And in that message, we see the same truth that lives in every artist's heart, that the world may celebrate talent, but it remembers love. It remembers kindness. It remembers the people who use their influence to lift others, to inspire change, to remind everyone that being seen is not the same as being known. And in that difference lies the soul of art, the part that transcends fame and enters legacy. And when we think of legacy, we think of all those who have turned their lives into lessons. Oprah, teaching empathy. Beyoncé, preaching excellence. BTS, spreading unity. Zendaya, showing grace under pressure. Lady Gaga, proving that you can turn pain into power. And Justin Bieber, demonstrating that redemption is not a destination, but a daily choice they are living. Testaments that no matter how many eyes are watching, it's the heart behind the performance that matters most. And as the lights dim and the credits of this endless digital stage roll on, we carry with us the echoes of their songs, their smiles, their stories that whisper, keep going, be kind, forgive yourself, create something beautiful, and above all, stay human. Because fame fades, but impact remains. And that is the quiet miracle behind every headline, behind every stream, behind every stage. The fact that somewhere beneath the layers of spotlight and sound, there are people just like us, daring to live fully, daring to believe again, daring to love without fear. And as this story closes, it doesn't really end, because new stars are already rising somewhere right now. A kid with a guitar uploads a song to the internet. A dancer records a clip in a tiny room. A writer pours their heart into a story. They hope someone will one day hear, and in that moment, the cycle begins again the next. Generation of dreamers carrying the same flame that lit the paths of those before them, learning from their stories, shining in their own light, and reminding the world that art is eternal, that connection is timeless, that love is infinite. And so, as the last frame fades, the music swells softly into silence, and we're left with a feeling that lingers, a mix of gratitude, wonder, and hope. Because maybe that's the real secret of fame. Not about being followed, but about leading hearts toward. Light not about being adored, but about inspiring others to believe in something bigger. And that's why Justin Bieber's presence on that simple Twitch stream will be remembered not as a spectacle, but as a symbol, a small moment that became a reflection of a greater truth. That even in a world obsessed with perfection, authenticity will always be the brightest star, and that light once shared never truly fades. It travels through songs, through stories, through screens, through souls, reminding us all that the real magic of fame is not found in the spotlight, but in the hearts it touches and in the dreams it dares to awaken. If you love celebrity stories, Hollywood news, inspirational journeys, and behind-the-scenes moments that feel personal, hit like, comment, and subscribe to stay connected with more positive and emotional celebrity documentaries.